movement was begun by a scientist who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered.
A kill list was intercepted. It says everyone in this room will be dead. You're number 2 on the list. Well, who's number 1? An unknown, a civilian.
Look out for Charlie.
I want him down.
I've been working on some newer, bigger videos, but it's taken a while because I got a lot of shit going on and because I'm still cleaning out my dad's house months later. It's pretty crazy, but you know, there are 2 stories and a basement and you've got one guy doing it. It's been a daunting process. Anyway, recently someone left the comment, the usual type of comments that say, you know, you don't listen to people. You don't give other people's ideas a chance. That's totally not true. I spend a great deal of time watching videos that people send me, listening to information, all of that. And if something makes sense, I'll check it out. What I don't do is I don't let people come to my channel and yap and use that as some sort of evidence. Anybody that believes in what they are talking about is going to take the time to explain it. And somebody who doesn't have a channel or information to back it up, or any type of evidence or any type of facts, and they're just yapping about something, is not going to get the time of day. I am not going to give them 2 seconds of my time. It's not worth it. Anybody that cares enough is going to put the time into it to get their ideas across, not just leave a comment on a channel somewhere. They would have their own channel. And that's how you gain respect and how people listen to what you're saying. But yeah, I spend a lot of time going over information that people send me. What I don't do is listen to people that are just talking with nothing to back it up. And with that said, let's move on. Recently, I put out a video called Microwave Attack No, in which I show audio from my dad's house, which is not special. Let me restate this in every video now, that my dad's house is not special. It was not special in any way. My house is not special. This signal can be recorded anywhere. I'm not special. My dad's house is not special. The house here is not special. Nowhere is special. This signal is everywhere. In this video, I showed that there was no RF, but you were still getting this ELF, and this ruffled a lot of feathers. It shows how simple people's understanding of this is. That doesn't mean that there is not RF somewhere. What is happening is, I believe at this point, and I will prove it at some point, that it is being transduced into a mechanical ELF wave. It's just being transduced somewhere, and I'm not going to say where right now, but I have a pretty good idea where and how. So RF is being transduced into ELF, which carries on further than RF ever would. So it's being transduced. Where and how? I have documented this signal at 85,000 feet. I've documented it underwater. I have documented it in caves, way underground. And that brings me to the hum. The woodpecker was around since the 70s, 1976. It officially came online, and it began to peck from Russia this 10 pulses per second, an ELF pulse at 10 pulses per second, right? Once the Soviet Union fell, coincidentally, HARP was there to take its place. HARP does the exact same thing as the woodpecker, and right when HARP came online officially, and before, when it was unofficially online, people began to hear the hum. They would take these people down into caves, and they could hear it down there. It would get louder in areas where they thought it would get quieter. People could not get away from it. Certain people would just hear this hum, right? This is connected to what is going on today. It is connected. people just didn't begin to hear this hum that no one else could hear for no reason. You know, it was the beginning of everything that made this worldwide and not an operation, so to speak, right? So when you talk to people about the hum and you ask them about it, they say, oh, well, that's for weather modification. That's for heating up the ionosphere for weather modification. No, it's not. No, it is not. HAARP's main purpose and main goal is radio communication technology advancement. That's a very vague term. That could be actual old school radio communication. That could be synthetic telepathy, which is what they began working on. This can be transduced into an ELF signal. Here's something funny. I began to search radio communication technology advancement recently after they broke Google. It's not like I hadn't searched it before, but when you look that up, the first things that it brings up is HAARP, without putting HAARP in the search terms. Radio communication technology advancement. You get Project HAARP, all these websites, right? All of these websites are spam that will scare you into thinking that you're getting a virus or something. See this? Every single one of them. I'll show you 3 of them. There's another one that goes blank. And here's another one. Same exact thing. It says there are 2,000 results, but it only takes you to the spam. Now, I find that really strange that that's cool with Google to show that in their search results, right? When something or someone kept breaking the SSL certificates on my site so that Google didn't have to show it. Because if it's not locked and it doesn't have that little lock at the top, then Google and other search engines will not show your website. And it kept happening to mine over and over and over. As soon as I blocked open enrollment into my website, that stopped. But anyway, so when you look up HAARP, you get all this spam that discourages you from researching it. If you put HAARP, radio communication technology, you get the same thing. So they are purposely trying to keep people from looking it up. And it's funny because if you just look up HAARP, you actually get shit. But if you look up the radio communication technology advancement part, you get a bunch of spam. Think about this. There's something up with that. They want people thinking it's just weather. It's just weather. It's just weather. Their first goal, the first aim of HAARP is radio communication technology advancement. Period. So what are they hiding? You know, in 2010, 2011, they had paid for some grants. I think it was to University of California to start working on synthetic telepathy, which is what Mark Zuckerberg is all obsessed with as well, right? You know, these are real things, not conspiracy theories. They want to replace your phone with synthetic telepathy. This is a fact. HAARP technology allows this to happen. And these ELF waves that I have documented in the past, that I told everyone was a very real mechanical vibration, is being transduced into ELF waves. So when I said there was no microwave, that doesn't mean that it didn't begin as RF. Now, anything can work as a transducer, and I will get into that later. Like I said, that's a whole other subject. But this is what I believe is happening. Imagine the fiber optics line that is going between America and Europe and carrying all that data on it. Now imagine that level of data being shot back and forth in the frequencies of HAARP and transduced on the ground to carry further through Earth. So you've got the Schumann resonance and you've got HAARP, high and low, then high frequency, low frequency. Then you've got it all covered. I think when people get so upset about this, they're not thinking fully at what this is, the big picture, at what's going on. And I'm going to release another video on this soon. I just wanted to touch on it and kind of clear that up as far as the microwave attack no video. And no, I'm not going to explain it further in the comments. It defeats the purpose. I will release a video on it later. And one of the most entertaining things for me to read is when somebody just comes along that doesn't know anything about this and has it figured out. Look, you're not going to have this figured out in a day. You are not going to have this figured out in a week. You are not going to have this figured out in a month. You are not going to have this figured out in 6 months. It is going to take a lot of time. And if you don't want to put the time in to really learn about it, you are not going to get it. You are not going to fully get it. And, you know, I've had friends that said, you know what, dude? I do not have the time to learn about this fully and understand it. And I understood that. I was like, right on, man. Because it takes time. You can't just dive in and have it figured out like fish aquariums or something like that, right? Keep that in mind for those newbies out there. That's it for now. Look out for Charlie.
Come on, do Nazi stuff.
Look out for Charlie.